Every time you touch money, you're doing more than just making a transaction. You're sending a signal to your mind, a signal to your future, a signal to the world about how you view wealth and how you expect it to show up in your life. And here's the brutal truth. Most people are sending the wrong signal every single day. They touch money with guilt, with fear, with stress, with a mindset of survival, not growth. And then they wonder why nothing changes, why they work hard but stay stuck, why money slips away faster than it comes in. But there's a secret that high performers, wealthy thinkers, and financially free people understand. It's simple. And it's so overlooked it almost sounds strange to average minds. They know that the words you say, especially when your hands are on money, can either activate more wealth or reinforce limitation. Every time you hold a dollar, swipe a card, check your bank account, or even receive a payment, you're making a declaration. You're training your brain to either expand your capacity or shrink it. Now, ask yourself, what are you saying when you touch money? Are you complaining about not having enough? Are you silently anxious? Are you rushing through the moment like it doesn't matter? Because the truth is, it matters more than you think. Your relationship with money is built in these quiet moments. It's not just in how much you earn, but in how you think about what you earn. It's not just in your work ethic, but in the language you repeat to yourself when money is in your hands. You see, this isn't about positive thinking. This is about psychological reprogramming. This is about taking control of the beliefs that run your financial life on autopilot. And today, you're going to learn one of the most important shifts you can make. A small phrase you can speak every time money touches your hand. A sentence that plants a seed of wealth in your mind every single day. Because repetition isn't just memory, it's identity. The more you speak wealth, the more you think like someone who earns it, attracts it, grows it, and multiplies it. And if you're ready to break the cycle of lack, if you're done with just scraping by and you want to live with power and direction, then this video will change the way you think about money forever. So when you touch money next time, don't just grab it and go. Say this. Say it with belief. This isn't hype. This is psychology. This is discipline. This is how wealth begins. Chapter 1. Money flows to me because I respect and manage it well. Every time you touch money, there's a moment of power. Whether it's a bill in your hand, a notification on your phone, or a purchase at the counter, how you think in that moment shapes what happens next. Saying money flows to me because I respect and manage it well isn't just a line, it's a mindset shift that changes your relationship with money. When you pick up bills or open your bank app, feel the texture, hear the soft rustle of paper, or see the small green number rising, register that detail, that's your cue to speak the truth. Respect is simple. It's not about ego. It's about handling what you have with intention. When you say it aloud or in your mind, you anchor your actions, you pay attention, you track where it goes, you don't waste it, you don't ignore it. Respecting money means you treat every exchange with care. If you spend, you keep track. If you receive, you record. You don't let cash slip through pockets unnoticed. That feeling of awareness fuels every decision. It builds trust between you and your future. Over time, repetition shifts behavior. You begin to make smarter choices without effort. You may search for excuses. The world is unpredictable. Bills rise. Emergencies happen. And yes, life pulses with uncertainty. But respect isn't dependent on fortune or luck. It lives in your choices. You decide how to handle money now, and those decisions create your financial atmosphere. If respect is absent, money flows out without return. If respect is present, it becomes easier for it to come back in. When you say the phrase, each time you touch money, the shift goes deeper. Your energy changes. You plant a seed of intention. It sends a clear message to your subconscious. Money matters to me. I value it. I'm responsible with it. That mental signal changes how you act later, whether you save, invest, give, or spend. Think back to times when money felt slippery, when it left your account before you noticed, or when spending felt careless. You may have felt regret, confusion, or even shame. That's normal. But each time you repeat the phrase now, you overwrite those patterns. Your brain begins to expect a different result. You handle things with care. so incoming value makes sense. You reinforce habits that match respect, not waste. You don't need perfect, you need responsibility. If you make a mistake, if you overspend, acknowledge it. You don't repeat it. The phrase doesn't demand perfection. It demands presence. It demands awareness. It teaches you to pause before every financial action. That pause builds habit emotionally. This practice roots you in calm. Money touch points become signals, not stress triggers. You feel the surface of cash or the tone of a notification, and your mind quiets. You frame the moment. You slow it down. And when you act, it's intentional. This mindset is quiet discipline. It's not flashy. It doesn't promise overnight wealth. It promises a steady rise. It promises alignment between what you say and what you do. It promises building trust with your future self. You don't chase wealth. You attract it by being worthy. You don't react to money. You respond to it with respect. As you build this habit, notice how small details matter. You check your balance before spending. You ask if this decision aligns with your purpose. You track expenses. You save first, spend later. You avoid impulse that doesn't feel right. You begin to see your finances not as stress, but as data, as opportunity, as reflection of how you serve your life values. You also begin noticing opportunities to serve investments, fairness, ways to help others. That sense of responsibility opens doors that hoarding and panic shut down. Money becomes more than survival. It becomes service. It becomes resource, not burden. Over time, people may say you handle money unusually. They may ask, why are you so careful with small amounts? You answer calmly, because money flows to me when I respect and manage it well. And that sentence, not bragging, not boasting, it's a boundary. It's a reminder to yourself and others that you carry something valuable. It's not arrogance, it's responsibility. And that responsibility creates attraction. Wealth tends to follow where it's treated well, not because of luck, but because order attracts opportunity. Respect creates trust. Trust creates return. Spend with care. Hold with intent. Manage with discipline. That's the seed that brings growth. This isn't the only phrase you will use. Other parts of this video will cover gratitude, value creation, abundance, and multiplication. But all begin with this foundation: respect and management. Money flows to you when you honor its presence, manage its movement, and learn from your interactions. You don't need complicated strategy or endless tracking tools. You need presence. You need calm, clarity. You need respect. One phrase, spoken with purpose. Every time you touch money, that small habit rewires your energy. That discipline grows your confidence. And slowly, steadily, intentionally, your financial life begins to change. Chapter 2. Every dollar I touch is a seed for my future wealth. Every time a dollar crosses your palm, think of it as more than just currency. Picture it as potential, a seed that you can choose to plant, nurture, and grow. When you say every dollar I touch is a seed for my future wealth, you're shifting how you see value in your hands and in your decisions. You're reminding yourself that every exchange carries potential. When you hold a coin or see a balance on a screen, feel the surface cool metal or soft digits, hear the tap of a button or the rustle of paper bills. That sensory cue anchors the phrase. It gives weight to your words. It deepens your connection to the money you're handling. You don't just spend or receive. You plant. You invest a part of your future. Treating each dollar with this intention changes how you behave. You don't spend it without purpose. You don't ignore small amounts. You value small moments of gain and moments of giving, because a seed only grows when it's nourished, when you water it, give it sunlight, and protect it. Likewise, the small dollars you touch gain strength when you track them, direct them, and keep them in motion. That mindset also shifts how you decide where to send money. Instead of letting it slip toward excuse or waste, you guide it toward investment, savings, skills, experiences, debt payoff, or generosity, you give it purpose. You activate its potential. And the more dollars you treat as seeds, the more opportunities grow. If you've ever felt that small expenses don't matter, this shift changes it. A single dollar becomes significant. A dollar you save isn't just saved, it's planted. A dollar you invest isn't just placed, it's sowed into your future. That attitude turns everyday transactions into habits of growth. Over time, your finances begin to reflect intention, not randomness. When you repeat the phrase, you reinforce a cycle. You touch money consciously. You connect action to purpose. Each touch becomes part of a system, not just a moment. You stop drifting through transactions. You begin acting with agency. That mindset roots itself so deeply that even when money is limited, your outlook stays expansive. Emotionally, this phrase plants confidence. You no longer feel powerless when spending. You know each move is part of your bigger picture. You minimize regret. You increase clarity. That calm sense of purpose softens financial anxiety and builds emotional resilience. You're not reacting to scarcity. You're building with intention. Mentally, this changes how you budget. A purchase becomes more than utility. It becomes a choice. You ask, will this seed grow or go to waste? You pause. You reflect. You choose. That mental friction weeds out impulse and replaces it with discernment. That's how small decisions accumulate into stability. Physically tracking your money reinforces it again. Every time you spend, log it. Every time you save, note it. Feel the pen on the page or the click on the app. See the totals grow. That's growth in motion. That's seed sprouting. That's you building wealth through habit. That sensory rhythm anchors the mindset and fuels consistency. This phrase also opens your emotional intelligence for opportunity. You begin noticing moments where money flows, tips, small discounts, change returns, sale profits, interest returns, income spikes. You treat each one as a seed, thanking it, tracking it, and planting it further. That gratitude and attention compound the potential. In time, others notice you're not reckless. You're not careless. You're calm. You ask smart questions. Where is this going next? How can I grow it? People respect that. They may ask for advice. They trust your decisions. You cultivate influence by showing how respect and intention matter. You don't need to be rich to use this mindset. It works for all income levels. Whether you're sorting coins or saving dollars, you become someone who moves money with purpose. You begin planting everywhere you can. No amount is too small and it's part of the habit of growth. If fear shows up, uncertainty, stress about bills, worry about savings, you speak the phrase. You remind your mind, I respect this seed. I'll plant it wisely. That shifts your internal posture from survivor to steward. You stop shrinking and start growing. This shift affects more than money. It carries into how you invest in yourself, time, relationships, energy. You begin seeing those resources as seeds too. You plant them with intention. You expect growth. That leads to consistent improvement in all areas of life. Eventually, you don't just say the phrase in your head. You speak it calmly and confidently every time a transaction happens. That ritual rewires your identity. You cease being someone who spends or saves emotionally. You become someone who invests, and that identity is what anchors long-term wealth. The multiplier effect begins quietly. The seeds you planted earlier begin to sprout as interest, return value, or opportunity. Not overnight, but steadily. And when you look back, you see not random expenses. You see a garden you grew with care. So keep planting. Every dollar you touch matters. Every exchange is soil you enrich, not drain. Say the phrase, mean it, then act on it. Ask for its next purpose. Water it with wisdom. Track it with care. Treat it like potential. And watch how slowly, surely your financial world changes shape. You will see growth, not because of luck, but because of respect, intention, and patience in each moment. Chapter 3, I deserve abundance because I create value. Every time a financial opportunity comes, whether it's income, sale, gift, or tip, there's a truth you must remember. I deserve abundance because I create value. That statement isn't about ego. It's acknowledgement that your effort, your contribution, your service, and your impact are worthy of reward. When you believe this deeply, your relationship with money changes. Picture the moment someone hands you a payment or you receive a notification that money has arrived. Feel the weight of that moment, a tap on the screen, the way your fingers sense the shape of a check, or how the numbers shift in your account. That moment is your cue to affirm your value. Saying the phrase connects your labor with its effect. You don't feel guilty, you don't feel undeserving. You feel grounded. You step into your worth. Many people feel conflicted when money arrives. They question, am I worth this? Did I do enough? That doubt becomes a block. They hold back energy, delay deposits, or spend with shame. But when you claim your value, you clean that block. You allow abundance to sit comfortably beside you. You receive with dignity. You plant it, as in earlier phases, as a seed, not for selfish gain, but as recognition of exchange. This mindset reframes every transaction. When you pay taxes, buy supplies, or compensate someone, you recognize it's a part of value flow. When you receive payment, you affirm the value you delivered. That switch turns financial exchange into a cycle, not a transaction. It restores clarity, it removes guilt. It opens your ability to build, invest, contribute, and grow. When the phrase becomes a habit, your confidence increases. You refuse to undervalue yourself or your work. You don't accept low pay, unfair terms, or mistreated effort. You understand that giving value earns you the right to receive fairly and respectfully. That means you negotiate better, you charge appropriately, you ask clearly, and when you do that with integrity, abundance tends to follow. Emotionally, claiming the phrase brings peace. You stop chasing money. In fear, you stop avoiding negotiations. You engage from a place of worth. That matters. You don't hustle desperately, you serve confidently. That makes your presence strong. Others sense it. They respect it. They trust that your work deserves return, and they respond accordingly. Mentally, this thought pattern stabilizes your self-belief. You don't measure your value by outcomes you don't control. You measure it by service. You know your effort has purpose. That steadiness means setbacks don't shake you. You don't undervalue your contribution when things stall. You keep engaging, you keep creating, you trust the process. Really, that shift shows up in behavior. You keep more of your earnings, you reinvest with clarity, you ask for fair pay, and you avoid decisions driven by panic. You carry yourself differently when you believe you deserve abundance. Your posture, your voice, your presence, they align with confidence, not desperation. This phrase also opens the door to contribution. When you know you deserve abundance, you don't hoard, you reinvest, you give, because true abundance isn't just receiving, it's circulating. That circulation multiplies your influence and your return. You help others, support causes, build relationships. That gives currency to your character. If fear arises, imposter syndrome, uncertainty about your path, you repeat the phrase, you reconnect with what you offer. You anchor in your impact rather than your doubts. That grounding quiets internal criticism. That clarity restores ambition. That reset moment is more powerful than hours of self-encouragement because it resets your identity, not just your mood. Over time, this phrase becomes more than words, it becomes belief. You no longer ask, do I deserve this? You simply understand you do because you create value. That belief frees you to act, to invest, to build. You don't shrink, you expand, you don't avoid, you engage, you don't wait, you step forward. When people observe you, they begin to trust your judgment. They begin to align with your standards. You attract fair partners, steady opportunities, respectful exchange. Why? Because your presence declares, I know what I bring and I honor it. That presence rewires how money responds to you. This shift doesn't guarantee instant fortune. It guarantees alignment. And alignment builds momentum. Value attracts value. The more value you create, the more value you attract. You become someone people want to work with. Your network strengthens. Your opportunities multiply. And you deserve them. That's the power of this phrase, not illusion, not wishful thinking. Real recognition of your input, your effort, your positive effect. That's enough to shift outcomes. That's enough to open doors. That's enough to build momentum beyond short-term flinches or setbacks. So speak this phrase, feel it in your bones, act from it, build value, receive responsibly, and watch how your financial world shifts, not overnight, but steadily, powerfully, expectantly. Because when you deserve abundance, because you create value, abundance has room to flow and you are ready to receive it. Chapter 4. I am grateful for this money and the opportunities it brings. When you hand over cash or see a payment arrive, take a moment and say in your mind or out loud, I am grateful for this money and the opportunities it brings. That phrase changes how you feel. It rewires how you see the exchange. Gratitude turns a routine moment into recognition. It reminds your mind that your money offers more than balance. It offers potential to connect, grow, help, and create. Feel the texture of the bill between your fingers or sense the soft glow of a screen when the number increases. Hear the rustle of paper or the click of an app. In that quiet pause, speak your gratitude. Let your chest expand. Let your breath soften. That physiological pause resets your mindset. It shifts you from scarcity to appreciation. Many people dismiss gratitude with cliches. They feel awkward about saying it, but gratitude isn't about sentiment. It's about clarity. When you say it, you recognize the value in the money. Not just the amount, but what it allows you to do. You open your awareness to possibilities. A bill now paid, a skill you invested in, a gift you can give, a future you build. Emotionally, gratitude grounds you. It stops anxiety before it begins. You don't panic over small setbacks. You breathe. You say it again. I am grateful for this money and the opportunities it brings. And your emotional energy softens. You become resourceful instead of reactive. You become open instead of closed. Say it when paying expenses too. Recognizing that the exchange releases something worthy, services, connection, progress, changes how you experience the cost. You feel empowered rather than drained. You acknowledge that money has value on both sides for different reasons, and that creates balance, not guilt. Physical practice supports mental change. Keep a simple record. Each time you touch money, jot down one thing you're grateful for alongside the amount. Feel the pen, see the words, sense your breath, slow. That journaling builds neural pathways. Gratitude becomes natural. You become someone who handles money thoughtfully, aware of opportunity, service, and abundance. Gratitude also invites generosity. When you see money as something that brings opportunity, you begin sharing. You support causes, you help friends or family, you invest in experiences, education, or community. That generosity returns energy. It reinforces the mindset and deepens your relationship with money, not as a possession, but as potential. This phrase changes your energy around money in subtle ways others feel. You appear calm and grounded. You speak with warmth. You buy with clarity. Your focus shifts from fear of loss to appreciation of exchange. That presence builds trust in others. You seem thoughtful, steady, and intentional. If stress creeps in, unexpected expense, late payment, financial surprise, you repeat the phrase, you anchor your mind to what's available, not what's missing. That shift boosts emotional resilience. It slows reactive fear and restores clarity to choose your next move wisely. Some people worry that gratitude lowers ambition. That's not true. Gratitude fuels clarity. It frees your mind from chasing lack. It lets you see where progress is possible. It quiets desperation, And that clarity invites better decision making. You start prioritizing opportunities that honor your values rather than noise. When you repeat it regularly, the phrase stops being words. It becomes belief. I am grateful for this money. And you know why? Because each dollar connects to opportunity. Paying for growth, reducing stress, creating service, adding energy, or building confidence. That posture changes how money responds to you. Not like a challenge, but like a tool. You handle it with respect. You see it with gratitude. You direct it with purpose. And opportunity tends to follow that pattern because energy responds to attention. Every time money crosses your path, speak gratitude. Feel it in your chest. Own it in your mind. Reflect it in your behavior. And watch how opportunity, clarity, and abundance begin to echo in your financial life. Not because of luck, but because of purpose awareness and steady respect.